Micah Van Mellon. So let's talk about the second part to the ego trap. And I was really excited to make this video today because this is something that has personally plagued me. So if you're not like the other person that when they're in their ego, they have a superiority over others or they feel that they're better in some kind of way, which we do see in some souls today. They're just simply in their asleep state and they're really stuck in their ego identification. But another part of being in your ego and an ego trap that is something that you may not realize is when you are really down on yourself and you really don't love yourself or you compare yourself to others. And it is part of depression as well. When you get stuck in your ego identity, you really are just stuck within your own little world. It is your own self with your issues, with your worries, with your problems, with everything that you experience in life. And you think that you are that person, you are that identity, and it's not true. You are actually part of the whole. And it's hard to see yourself in that way. So another danger to being stuck in the ego is to feel bad about yourself, to compare yourself to others, to feel like you're not worthy or you have no value or someone's more beautiful or someone's more cooler or someone's better in some kind of way. And that is what happens to a lot of souls. It happened to me a long time ago. I was trapped in my ego identity. I thought that all of my issues and my problems and my worries and all of my feelings of isolation and loneliness were just secluded to me. They were just part of who I was. And I felt that that was my identity. And it led me down this spiral further and further into my depression and sadness and feeling like I was a terrible person and things like that. And what really brought me out of depression, and this is the healing for everyone that really truly feels that they compare themselves to others, they feel bad about themselves, they're really down on themselves all the time. The self-healing mechanism behind that is to feel connected to the divine, connected to everything and all things. You literally pull yourself out of that ego identity and enter into a much broader perspective of the universe and who you are. And so what you end up doing is once you're out of your ego identity, you start to look at your problems, your issues, your challenges in your life as opportunities for growth and for challenges to take on. And every little thing that happens in your life is really for the benefit of your learning and your growth. And so once you are able to kind of remove yourself out of your ego identity, that is when you start to have real self-love. And you truly do embrace you for who you are. It's not that you'll think that you're better than others. It's not that you will be in love with yourself in a sense. It's just that you will be able to accept yourself for everything that you are in this lifetime and all the assets and all the flaws that you have. And you'll be able to play with them in a different kind of way, in the sense that you're dealt cards in a sense with your DNA and the type of person that you're basically born to be in a sense with your DNA codes. And once you get out of your ego identity and you connect to the whole thing, that's when you start to have the ability to manifest what you really want to see and to transform. And also sometimes just to accept and to realize that these were the cards handed to you at birth or something that you developed. And it's how you take on those challenges and those obstacles that really show you your soul growth. The example is with people that are born with a disability or a disease or something that they feel, somehow is a challenge or an obstacle in their life. That is exactly it. I have seen examples of people that when they are born with certain types of disabilities or certain obstacles and challenges, there are some remarkable souls that have taken those on with, just so much strength and bravery and courage, and have inspired other people. We know that. We see stories about it all the time, where somebody is born in a particular way and they have overcome that challenge and that difficulty. That is a testament to their soul growth and to their evolution on their journey towards awakening. So when you are stuck in your ego identity, that ego trap is to think that only you have these problems and you can't do anything with them and there's no way out and everything's dark and gloomy and you're hated by the universe or you're hated by others and God hates you. You're stuck in that little ego identity of you and your experiences of bad things happening to you. And when you break out of that shell and you bust out into the universe and you become part of the collective, you no longer see yourself as just that identity. You see yourself as having these obstacles and these trials, and this is your story. This is your journey, like Bilbo had in The Hobbit. This was his journey and his adventure, and the way that he needed to go on this adventure and learn from everything that happened to him and everything that he experienced. And the reason why the elves actually invited Bilbo onto the boat and Frodo onto the boat at the end of the trilogy is because the elves recognized that Bilbo and Frodo reached their soul growth, their evolution, that, they had their challenges and their obstacles. I mean, Gollum was trying to kill both of them. And, they were thrown into situations that a hobbit doesn't normally enter into, but they took them with grace and with courage, and they fulfilled their duties on earth. And that is why they finally get to rest in bliss of the undying lands in the West. So everybody has their challenges. You are never alone. Do not think for 1 second that you are the only one dealing with bad things in their life. We each have our cards dealt to us in a sense, and it's how you play those cards that really make the kind of spirit and soul that you become. And you have this lifetime in order to learn how to overcome those challenges and those obstacles in a great way, or you have the next. And you keep on learning in every life, and eventually you will no longer have to learn. You enter into that state of awakening and enlightenment. That is for the souls that are ready to move on into a light body existence and they no longer want to be in the physical world. And that is really for those that are ready for it and ready for that ascension. But those that are not ready for it or who don't really have a clue of what I am talking about, just keep in mind that if you think of yourself as only your own ego identity, that's when you can fall victim to depression and sadness and feeling isolation and getting really down on yourself. So that is another ego trap to watch out for, because it's not just about feeling better than others in your ego because you feel like you need to, feel better about yourself in a sense. Um, it's also a trap to feel like you're not worth anything or you're not of value as much as others are. That is the other ego trap I want you to watch out for. And I hope that everybody overcomes their challenges and their obstacles in their lifetime and really show the type of soul that you truly are deep inside. So Han and Lei for listening, and I will see you on the next video.